Welcome, dear listener, to this in-depth exploration of Chapter 10 from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, a timeless classic first published in 1910 and now in the public domain. Today's chapter is titled Further Use of the Will, and it is one of the most powerful, practical, and often misunderstood chapters in the entire book. In this session, we will take you deeper, not only through the exact philosophy and insights shared by Wattles but also through added interpretations, practical breakdowns, modern applications, original examples, and inner reflections. This chapter is about more than just willpower, it's about spiritual direction, mental mastery, and alignment with the infinite creative force. Sit back, take a deep breath, and prepare to dive into a higher level of understanding. Let's begin. Understanding the real function of the will. Wallace Wattles begins with a foundational teaching, one that has the power to change your entire approach to success, manifestation, and mental discipline. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. This is the true use of the will, to keep your attention focused on your desired vision, regardless of the distractions, obstacles, or contradictions that arise around you. This is not about forcing results. It's not about controlling people. It's not about pushing or manipulating. It's about guarding your own consciousness. When we hear the word will, many of us imagine determination, grit, or even stubbornness. But here, Wattles invites us to redefine it. Your will is the power to direct your attention where you choose, and keep it there, no matter what external circumstances suggest. The world will always throw distractions your way: economic downturns, personal disappointments, societal fear, criticism from others. Your will is your ability to rise above those influences and say, "No, I know what I am creating, and I choose to remain aligned with it." You do not change the world by fighting it, you change it by creating. One of the most controversial and yet profound insights in this chapter is Wattles' bold statement: do not spend your time in charitable work, or charity movements, or reform movements, or political agitation. Do not dwell on the imperfection of things or the wrong in the world. At first, this may sound cold or even unethical. But let's go deeper. Wattles is not advocating apathy. He's advocating creative power over reactive emotion. When you focus on the wrong, you give energy to it. When you try to destroy poverty, you strengthen the mental image of poverty in your mind. Instead, he teaches that the greatest service you can give to the world is to create something better, to embody prosperity, to radiate harmony, to live as an example of what's possible. Think of it this way: fighting darkness doesn't bring light. Arguing with disease doesn't create health. Resisting hate doesn't manifest love. You must generate the energy you want to see, not resist the one you dislike. This is where the will is required, not to fight others, but to refuse to engage in negativity, distraction, or contradiction. Original insight: the will as mental gravity. Imagine your vision as the sun. Your will is the gravitational force that holds all your thoughts, actions, and emotions in orbit around that central goal. Without the will, your mental planets scatter. You become fragmented, inconsistent, easily swayed by appearances. But with the will, everything aligns. Your beliefs support your goal. Your actions reinforce your faith. Your emotions uplift your energy. And you become a magnet for the very reality you're imagining. This is why mental discipline is the highest spiritual practice. Because everything begins in the mind, and your will is the gatekeeper. You must think truth, regardless of appearances. Wattles writes, to think health when surrounded by the appearances of disease, or to think riches when in the midst of appearances of poverty, requires power. And that power is your will. This is the great spiritual work, to see truth beyond fact. The fact may be that you have little money today. The truth is that abundance exists. The fact may be that your business is struggling. The truth is that success is available. The fact may be that your health is compromised. The truth is that perfect life is within you. Your task is to think in harmony with the truth, not the fact. And this is only possible through repeated use of the will. It's not easy. But as Wattles says, it's the greatest power you can develop. Never use your will on other people. Another warning he offers is one of the most ethical foundations of creative living: do not attempt to influence, or coerce, or mentally project your will upon any other person. This is a spiritual law. Every person is sovereign. Your will is meant for your own mind, not theirs. Trying to manipulate others, even for what you believe is a good cause, puts you in the competitive realm. It disrupts your own alignment, and it backfires. Instead, act with calm certainty. Influence through your example, not your pressure. Practical example: will in the face of crisis. Let's imagine a situation you might face. You've lost your job. Bills are due. Panic begins to rise. What do you do? Most people start thinking thoughts like, "I'm doomed. This always happens to me. The world is unfair." And their energy collapses. Their vibration lowers. Their vision vanishes. But the creative thinker, the one trained in the proper use of the will, does something radically different. They sit still. They breathe. They return to their vision. They say, "This is temporary. I know abundance is on the way. I will act with faith and confidence." And from that place, solutions begin to appear. This is not delusion. It's mastery. Original expansion, the will as a channel to divine order. Here's something Wattles hints at, but let's expand even more. When you use your will correctly, you become a clear channel for divine intelligence. You are no longer ruled by fear or habit. You are guided by principle, by vision, by spirit. In this state, your choices become effortless. Your actions become inspired. And even your body begins to respond with energy, vitality, and strength. This is not fantasy, it's physics of the soul. The will strengthens through daily practice. Like any muscle, your will must be trained. Here are practices to strengthen it. Morning vision ritual. Spend 10 minutes each morning visualizing your goal in vivid, joyful detail. Use your will to bring yourself back whenever the mind wanders. Mental diet. Throughout the day, refuse to dwell on complaints, gossip, bad news, or limitation. Notice when your thoughts drift and gently return them to your vision. Evening reflection. Before bed, ask yourself, did I think truth today, or did I fall into appearances? These simple habits build willpower that's quiet but unshakable. Deep reflection. The will and faith are twins. Faith is the belief that what you desire is already yours. Will is the discipline to hold that belief consistently. One without the other falters. Faith without will becomes emotional but fleeting. Will without faith becomes rigid and cold. But together, they make you unstoppable. You believe. You persist. You create. Final words from Wallace D. Wattles. Let's close with one of the most profound statements in this chapter. To think what you want to think is to think truth, regardless of appearances. This is your greatest challenge, and your greatest gift. To think what you choose to think, not what circumstances suggest. To think wealth when the bank is empty. To think love when the world is harsh. To think peace in the midst of chaos. That, and only that, is the proper use of the will. This brings us to the end of Chapter 10 of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. If you've received value from this journey, we invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's ready to reclaim the power of their mind. Want more? The full audiobook-style series is available on our channel, including all previous chapters. You'll find the playlist linked in the description below. And remember, your will is your most sacred inner power. Use it to guard your thoughts, hold your vision, and create the life you truly desire. This is limitless growth. And your journey is just beginning. See you in the next chapter.